I would not have changed for anything. Could I tell you how much I made in commission? Nope. Was it the biggest sale? Nope. It's probably one of my smallest, but it was the most memorable. And to the day I die, it's why I got the license.
It's those ones that help somebody else, that feed your soul, that says you are making a real change in somebody's life, that give the biggest reward.
Well, I think that's what we do as realtors. We sell change, and people don't like change, but we make changes in people's lives, and we're entrusted to do this. And for the most part, I don't think there's a more rewarding industry and a more collaborative industry than real estate. Real estate is the you work with other quote your competitors on transactions, and you all work to a common goal to help transfer a valuable asset from one party to the other, and you change people's lives, both lives. It's a significant event in everybody's life, their home and their investment.
Okay, you were talking about getting a house ready. How do you get a house ready for the market?
More in the past, but what I would do is I would always walk through the house looking at it as if it was the first time. I used to bring little booties to the sellers and hand it to them, say, these are magic buyer booties. You go out in the front yard, you put them on, and you walk to the house as if you've never seen this house before. You look at everything. Is there cobwebs in the corner? Does the door lock work properly? Because the last thing you want is your buyer sitting there at the door lock trying to get in and not being able to open the door. You walk through the house and make sure it has a feeling of warmth. Declutter it. Do your best to have all stuff out. There is a school of thought out there that says take away all family pictures and all things that identify family that's in there, all personal pictures, unless the person has an aversion to having personal pictures up. I don't agree with that. I like having the toys in the kids' bedroom. Not a lot, but a few. I like having the pictures on the wall. We've all gone into those model homes and they're stark and they don't feel home. They feel kind of like a showroom at a mall. It just doesn't feel natural. Everything's staged and you got the little word prop on the TV. I think a home needs to feel like a home on so many different levels. We have 1,000 clues that we have learned in our brain to pick up on that we can't articulate, little signs and little details that our brain has adapted over the years to give us indications. So we have a very primal brain, really, when it comes down to it. So we have to pick up a lot of information and interpret it. And most of it we do subconsciously. I think when you sterilize a house, you take some of that subconsciously out. It doesn't become a home anymore. It just becomes an asset. So I like people to make it a home, go through it. I don't think you want to have distracting things out there, but I think you really simplify everything that you can so that the people feel like this is a home that they can be part of. And that's it. It's going through, obviously fixing things that are broken, new light bulbs that are need there. I like the halogen ones because it creates that white light. Clean all the little details that you can. There's a saying that we always would say, if you open the closet and the pipes for the hot water heater are clean, if you see the things that are clean, the stuff you can't see, you assume are clean. But if you open the closet and it's full of dust and dirt and stuff, you kind of, oh, these people haven't been taking as good a care of it. So those little things do add up quite a bit. And in a market like we are right now, which is such a fast market, there seems to be this mad rush to get out onto the market and just get it done. And we forget the process and the steps that we go through to get it ready. And it's even more important to have it done ahead of time, to either do your inspections, if you do pre-inspections for listing, to have everything organized, have all the disclosures. Go back to the process, the system that worked for you, because I have found in the past that when I deviate from my plan, even a little bit, if I just skip that one base, just go from first to third, and no one's going to know, it's not going to affect. It always comes back down the road in a way I don't expect. So following the same process, following the procedures, having a checklist, and going through that process each time, even if it's slowing down and getting a house ready, going through the same thing, even if you think you're going to get 20 offers, it's going through the same process and getting it coordinated ahead. I also like to have the sellers tell me the stories of the home. People don't buy 3 bedrooms, 4 baths. They buy a home. Now, they might need 3 bedrooms, 4 baths. They might need something, but they really sell the story of the house. So if the seller is willing to spend the time and invest the stories of what happened, what areas they like, what's their favorite square footage, where do they like the light coming in, Where do they enjoy their coffee in the morning? What are quirks about the house? What would they have done differently if they were going to live there 5 more years? These questions, in my opinion, help tell the story of a home. I was selling a property on Via Asturias, and the couple had three little girls. And they had a giant 16,000 square foot lot with a big backyard with a pool. And they were back there, and he was explaining to me that they had a sleepover of Girl Scouts. And they had 30 pink tents in the backyard, filling the whole yard. And it was like a whole bunch of little chickens all night long, all this little chop, 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 as all the girls were talking. When I'm showing the house and walking somebody through, pointing out to a large backyard that has, say, this is a 16,000 square foot lot, look at the big backyard. It's a much more powerful story, say, the current owners who have three daughters just like you had a Girl Scout troop where they had 30 pink tents out there filling out that whole property overnight. All the girls talking all night long, and then having donuts in the morning and then sending them home. So the parents would have to be stuck with all that sugar. But that's a story. That's a message. That's something that the person will carry on when they're looking at different properties. They're going to remember that backyard with 30 pink little tent versus, hey, it's a big backyard. Maybe we can throw the ball around it. Those stories, I think, are so critical, and we miss it when we're trying to so quickly focus to just bring the property to market.
Okay, I have one more question for you, and then I can let you go. What is the most valuable skill that you think we should all learn?
I think the most valuable skill that we all have, and it goes back to what my dad taught me, is you have two ears and one mouth. You should listen twice as much as you speak. You cannot learn anything if you're talking. You can only learn if you ask questions and listen for the feedback. It's such a discipline that is lost in this world of text, email, instant communication, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever it is, to listen to what people are saying and also listen to what they're not saying, but be active listener and dive into it and not try to finish their sentence, not try to relate by saying, oh, yeah, I had a similar situation. Let the person share, let them give you feedback, and then you know them best. The agent's job is to advise. You can't advise unless you really understand deep down what the questions or the concerns that your client has. And unless you can take the time and understand that and really dive deep, you won't be able to do a good job for them. This market that we're in right now is the best market to pick up clients for life. Because when the market is going along pretty well, easy, and properties sell relatively easily, and there's not a lot of bidding war, and it just kind of has that momentum, the sellers and the buyers don't see the agents working very hard, and they think they don't do a lot of work. And they go, okay, they drive nice cars, they do a good job. I needed them for this, but that's okay. In this market where there's multiple offers and there's so much work that goes into it, and there's so much angst and uncertainty and COVID and forms and how everything's changing and nuances and speed, they really see the agent working hard for them. And those are the client that will refer down the road. They will say to somebody, even a couple of years from now, oh my gosh, you got to talk to Jacqueline. You got to talk to her because she works so hard for us, because they see you in the blood, sweat, and tears of these transactions. This is the best time to build clients. People always say, well, a lot of the agents are most successful, the ones that start in tough time. Not because they got their knees scraped more often. It's because the client saw how hard they were working and rewarded them by recognizing that and sending them referrals down the road. So this is the best opportunity for us to grow, but we can't grow and build our businesses unless we truly understand what our clients' needs are. And you can't understand our clients' needs without truly listening to them, asking questions and asking questions. And one of the reminders I have about this is an agent in Silicon Valley who told me this story, and I love the story. So she's got clients visiting from Chicago, and they're out here to buy $1.5 million house. This is many years ago when $1.5 million in Silicon Valley was something more than a postage stamp. And she set up the showing. She met him at the airport. She got in the car and she had the drinks, everything that we used to do. You had a four-door car. You got the drinks in the front and the back. You got the waters. You planned out your whole showing report. You're going to drive by the schools. We're going to have lunch. Then we're going to look at 4 more properties. Pulls up to the first property and she goes, okay, this one. And the gentleman in the front seat goes, nope, not interested. She's like, okay, no problem. Goes to the second one. Nope, not that one either. Now she's getting a little worried because her schedule's getting off. She's got time to kill. How do I kill time? I got these showings. These people are expecting us to come to the front door, and we're not even walking up to the front door. I'm canceling his appointment. She's trying to contact her assistant to tell them, hey, we're sorry, we're not doing it. Gets to the third property. Nope, not interested. And she's like, oh my gosh. So can I ask you, what about the house doesn't interest you? Why are you poo-pooing? She goes, oh, the driveway is too steep. In the winter, we wouldn't be able to drive up and down that because of the ice. This person's a professional, a high level, but they just, in their minds, their existing beliefs were steep driveways, ice, can't drive there. They don't realize in Silicon Valley, it doesn't go below 50. But it's just not, it's not asking those questions. And if at the first one she would have asked, hey, what about this house doesn't interest you? And he said that, she would go, well, we don't have ice, and we moved on. But it's just, it's asking those questions. So I'm often reminded to myself, like, is there ice on the driveway? Am I asking enough questions so I really understand what my client's needs are? Because they're not going to be my needs, and their backgrounds aren't going to be my backgrounds. And the more I understand them, the better I am helping them and also other people that are like them.
Love it. Ask questions.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit about you and your real estate knowledge. Is there anything else you would like to add?
I think one of the things I find amazing about this industry is the collaboration. I don't think there's any industry where people are so willing to share their knowledge with each other than real estate. I think it comes back to the fact that although we might be competitors on one transaction, we're allies on the next. We both have the objective to get the deal done for our clients. We both are working hard for our clients, but our common objective is to come together. And that coming together and that collaboration flows over into things like doing these podcasts where people will share their information and reaching out. And I think we do not do enough to connect with other people within our networks and within our markets, just to pick up the phone and talk to them. How is the market going? What's happening there? Building those relationships, because you're not going to, when you need them, they have to already be built. We have COVID, we haven't had the networking events, but regardless of your brand, going out there and interfacing with other agents, finding them and just picking up the phone and contacting them, asking how they're doing, asking if now is a good time to talk. Those collaborations always pay dividends and trigger more thoughts and more ideas. And we learn from each other. You'll get an idea from, say, me. You'll take it and you'll put your own little twist on it. And then someone else will take your idea and say, oh, that's great. And let me put my little twist on it. And we just kind of collectively build the whole industry and we raise it up together. That's improving the industry and also improving it for our consumers. We will not be duplicated by an app. This is too complicated. At the end of every transaction, I always have that chuckle, like there's no system, there's no AI that could have automated this. But we also shouldn't take it automatic. It takes time to get to know the clients and knows the situation and walk everybody through it. And we owe that to our friends and family to provide that service. And the only way we can do that is really get involved and understand and build those relationships.
This is why I am doing Coast to Coast Real Estate Podcast. Here every week, we will get to know and meet some amazing agents from all over the world. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you to my listeners for being here. And yes, I already said we have a lot of great things coming up down the line. So don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, Rick. Thank you so much. Have a fabulous rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.